Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zaki and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. It is episode 241, and I am Zaki Hassan. Who are you?
I'm Brian Hall.
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. You know, as always, it's fun to be able to sit down and do this, but it does feel like we've had some just trying to get our schedules to line up lately has been a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah, I would say this has been one of the busiest stretches I've had in years, just in terms of workload and some things, I can't sort of talk about yet, but I'm very excited to talk about. And like a couple things on the side, and it's all very exciting stuff, but it becomes a lot to manage. I'm going to basically be working all through the weekend, and so this is like my break, just getting to finally sit down and talk to you.
Can I just say, by the way, that
Yeah.
I think more than you, I'm looking forward to you being able to talk about the stuff you're working on.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I truly can't wait. I'm so excited, but forthcoming.
But what else? What have you been up to other than being busy with? And again, these are good problems to have for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting to find time to sit down with you and do this. But I'm so glad we're doing it today. I mean, this is giving me energy. This is the energy I needed so I can do the rest of my work today. And I also want to let people know I'm not recording at the top of Everest. If it sounds kind of echoey. This is a little bit of an experiment. I know it's not perfected yet, but ever since I moved into my new place, I've been recording in a closet, which I've heard a lot of people do, but it was coming. I don't know. I wasn't very happy with the sound, and I was having to move a little, table and chair and set up in there, and I was pretty much trapped for 2 hours. And so I wanted to try to record in my office, and I'm still figuring it out, the blankets and the sweaters and the soundproof stuff. So I feel like I'm getting there, but it'll get closer, I think, eventually. Wait, you're on like your bed, right?
I'm on my bed. I'm just relaxing, you know?
It sounds like you have the cushiest setup. I'm so jealous. I got to figure out. I want to do that. I want to stretch out.
It is nice. It's also, I mentioned we moved recently, and so my wife and I, our room is a little bigger, so we kind of spoiled ourselves and got a TV for our room, which we've never had. And so now when we do commentaries, I get to watch on the telly.
Oh man!
So I am living the dream.
See, that's the thing too. In this office, there's a television opposite me, and I'm like, this would be like my comfortable. This is my desk. This is my office. This is where I work. So the chair, I'm obviously cozy in here. I've just got to figure out the sound stuff because, oh man, doing a commentary in here, forget about it.
I have to say, when I first logged on to the call, I was like, hey man, and Brian's like, Zaki, gather ye animals 2 by 2.
Yeah, actually, it was funny. Federica earlier was hearing me experiment. I was recording. And I was like, hello, this is Brian without a sound guard. Here's Brian with a sound. Here's a sweater over my head. Just trying all these different experiments. Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. It's a work in progress. Just look at it this way, Brian. Whatever you do now can never be as bad as we both were when we first started doing this show.
Oh, man. I mean, I remember the first episode was me with my phone with, the headphones plugged in, microphone plugged in, and just pacing my apartment talking to you. Which it sounds exactly like that. Like a phone call, not even a FaceTime quality sound. You know what I mean? Like that, like a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've had people send me messages like, "Oh, I can't believe you've been doing this for 10 years," and I was like, they were like, "Oh, what do you have planned to celebrate?" And I was like, I don't know if we're going to celebrate, but we'll mark it in August. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, this is this is our 10th year. This is our big 10-year. We should have a year-long 10th year. Marking the occasion. This is a long time.
That is. I don't know what that would be, but I am all for it.
Well, I want to throw it out to people who have been listening for a long time. Let us know, like, your favorite, moments or bits that we've done.
Yeah.
And we can see if we can find them and maybe do a little compilation and thing. That'd be fun.
I think so. Yeah.
I have said often that this is the longest professional relationship I've been in.
Yeah.
And it's the longest relationship I've been in other than with my wife. So
yeah, no, same. I mean, it's maybe because we're still doing it, I still feel in the moment. But yeah, reflecting back, yeah, I mean, it's 10 years. Wow.
I mean, I've had since we started, right? I've had 2 kids.
Wow.
And so when I think about the show, I think about how I've had to change the rooms I do my recording in.
Yeah.
Because I used to just have like a dedicated office, and then another kid. Okay,
Right.
not using that room anymore. So
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and I'm thinking my last place had carpet. I think that went a long way.
Sure.
No carpet in here, but it's funny when you talk about different locations of recording. Going back to the whole closet thing. Yeah, when I was doing the commentaries, this, I was cramped in a chair, and I threw a blanket on the ground trying to muffle some sound. Then I had a little table that butted up against the door, so getting in was really hard. I had to lock myself into this position. And then I would play the movie on my phone. And the first couple times I tried it, I forgot to put it in airplane mode. And so then I would get phone calls, and then I'd be knocked out of sync with you. And I was like, oh, and you'd be like, ooh, that looked like it hurt. And I was like, oh, okay. I had to skip ahead, try to find where some guy got punched in the face or something. Yeah, that's why today's experiment. I'm trying to find something a little easier.
Well, fingers crossed. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
It is oftentimes the journey and not the destination, so we'll get there.
100%.
But that said,
yes.
Speaking of journeys, you've been on a bit of a journey through various television and streaming offerings and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to say that I watch TV way less than I watch movies, but recently I've been watching way more TV than I have movies.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring up Pam and Tommy, which is on Hulu. Produced by Seth Rogen, starring him also with Lily James, completely unrecognizable as Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, holy moly.
Stan. Dude, I mean, yeah, she's like gone. I feel like you're looking at Pamela Anderson, which may be part of the problem actually with the show, I think.
Interesting. Okay. I want to hear your thoughts. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm very curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I just want Sebastian Stan's great too as Tommy Lee. When I say the problem, I think the first 2 episodes, I was really interested in this because I like these 90s retrospectives, because now I'm seeing history that I remember through a new lens, and I just find it interesting. And I think the first 2 episodes, so it's important to know that Pamela Anderson, I mean, she was traumatized by this.
Yes.
This event, right? Having her and Tommy Lee had a sex tape, which was completely something they kept in a safe. It was private. They weren't trying to have anybody lay eyes on this, and it got stolen from them and became part of early internet history, where the people who stole it realized, well, we can't get anyone to buy this from us and distribute it because, there's no releases involved and we could get sued. So with the internet being the Wild West at the time, they're like, well, let's just put it on there. No one will ever be able to trace it back to us, and we can make a ton of money. And this, the way the show frames it, and I mean, obviously the real Pamela Anderson was hurt by this, but she was just about to come out with a movie, and people were interviewing her for magazines, and it wasn't about her body. It was about her being an actress. And then this comes out, and then she just totally becomes a Jay Leno punchline for years.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, she becomes a body again.
Isn't it funny how so much of the 90s involves people becoming Jay Leno punchlines for years?
It's so funny because I know he gets a lot of crap, particularly because of the Conan stuff, which I completely side with Conan on all that. But I was like, I don't know. He's kind of old school, so maybe he's a little rough around the edges, but he seems like a nice guy. I don't know. He very well may be, but yeah, I mean, when you see when you go back and look at all this stuff, the OJ, I mean, just true crass insensitivity.
I was literally, Brian, just yesterday I was talking with my dad about the OJ thing, and I was like, think about the dancing Edos.
Yes.
And I was like, this is a murder trial. Like, that's the judge presiding over. Like, 2 people died.
Yeah.
And we're doing this song and dance thing. And then, of course, Monica Lewinsky, who, oh my God, how can your heart not go out for this woman?
Yes, I mean, and that was another one that I watched, Impeachment. Yeah, it's horrifying. And Marsha Clark, of course, is sort of re-examined in the OJ series.
Right.
Like how she was treated, and then of course Pamela Anderson here. And I think the first couple episodes, I was like, this feels kind of icky. And the reason being, with this is like really complicated, but like when you have a movie, there can be sort of like a rating. You're going with like a PG, a PG-13, and R. When you go with like TV, there's sort of like these restrictions. But with streaming, you can kind of do whatever you want, right? And I thought about this with like, RoboCop being rated X at one time for violence.
Right.
And now you look at the violence. I mean, shoot, on 24, not even
Right.
on 24,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
on Fox, on television, and you're like, damn, this would have been an R-rated movie years ago. And so likewise, I feel like people are so excited that they can just show whatever they want that the first couple episodes get really explicit with Anderson. I mean, she's in this happy relationship with Tommy Lee, but it's like full frontal nudity, almost to me, it almost felt like, look what we can do.
I mean, with that in mind, I think it's worth saying that I think nudity can be used very effectively in a lot of things, right? Like it can be used dramatically to, try to convey intimacy, whatnot. But just the first couple episodes of this were so explicit, and the actress is so unrecognizable as the actress. I mean, she literally looks like Pam Anderson that I was like, honestly, I feel like I'm watching a new Pam Anderson sex tape. And for what this show is trying, apparently their theme is about how exploited Pam Anderson was, knowing that this is a show that she didn't want to happen and how graphically they're portraying her. I was like, this feels weird. Feels potentially icky. And so, I mean, I think they wisely dropped 3 episodes at once because they were like, we're going somewhere. We're going somewhere with this, And so, I watched all 3. And then I was very interested in the heist, how this guy, Seth Rogen plays the person. Basically, he's a construction worker who was working on Anderson and Tommy Lee's house and was basically humiliated and left. And,
by them.
By Tommy Lee specifically. Pam Anderson is, according to this, pretty much innocent all around, and Tommy Lee's just kind of a jerk, and really hurts this guy's feelings, like embarrasses, puts a shotgun in his face just to humiliate him. And so he's like, well, screw this, I'm going to show you. And so he steals this safe that he's aware of in their garage, but he doesn't know what their contents are. And amongst the contents, he finds this tape. Anyway, that's the stuff.
And I have to say, somewhat, not having seen it, but somewhat ironically, if the goal was to humiliate Tommy Lee, I feel like the exact opposite happened.
Yes, and it's funny because even Tommy Lee is like, oh, who cares? Like, well, I'm in it too. He keeps saying that. And poor Pamela Anderson is just like, dude, do you get it? Like, this makes you cool. And this makes me something else entirely. It's working against everything I'm trying to achieve at this moment, And so that is very compelling. And I feel like after the first 2 episodes, it loses sort of the exploitive. And then they get into the heart of the story. And I feel like once they get into that, and Lily James is very good.
Maybe just to, and again, I haven't seen it, but maybe that was the intent, was to make the audience sort of complicit.
I don't think the show is that smart. I'm just going to be honest. I honestly feel like they were like, let's celebrate what we're able to do here, and then I think that's a very popular theme right now, re-examining the way we treated women in the 90s. So I feel that is their almost shield. But I actually don't think what they captured in the first 2 episodes is that clever.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, and so I think I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in now, and I thought it's gotten a lot better. And I think Tommy is kind of interesting, even though you kind of hate him. And Pamela Anderson, I feel so bad for her. And, she's just trying to stop this. And it's so interesting. There's so many scenes where they'll be like, well, it's on the internet, well, cool. We'll just like get all the copies and stop it. Like no one understands how the internet works at this point. And they have a computer at their house that's not even connected to the internet. So they have to go to the library. And, that's the stuff that's really interesting. And then seeing how they figure out who did it. And so that's kind of where they're at now, and how are they going to nip this in the bud. And anyway, yeah, it's once I got over the first 2 episodes or past those, I was like, oh, it does look like it's actually going to try to say something interesting. And I think the performances are pretty good. So I'd be curious. I mean, do you have any interest in checking it out? Or
I mean, not particularly, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Unless, to be honest, if you were like, oh my God, this is,
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's not. So maybe, it's not like I don't have enough things on my plate to watch. So
100%.
I may end up passing this by.
You know what this has become, actually, and maybe wisely for them, is they drop it every Monday, I think it is.
Okay.
And when it's Monday night and it's 10 p.m. and I kind of don't, I'm like, it's too late for a movie. It's, maybe I'm a little too tired to start reading. It's like, oh, one of those dropped, and it becomes like like Only Murders in the Building was like that for me too, which I really liked a lot more than this. But it was like you'd forget about it, and then it was like a little treat.
You didn't think that show overdid it with the Steve Martin Short tape stuff?
Yes, just because you
can
do doesn't mean you should. Or maybe they should have more. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's what it sort of becomes, my Monday night. Oh yeah, show.
Okay.
But anyway, another show that I'm watching that I am loving far, far more is The Wire, which I've mentioned before. And now I just wrapped up season 4.
Okay,
and,
home stretch.
Oh, man. Dude, so when I think I first talked about this, I was like, it's great. Yeah, I get it. But like, I just, people like worship this show, or at least hold it in like such esteem and reverence. And it's good. It's great. I really like it, And now that I finished season 4, I'm like, I think that might be the best season of television I've ever seen. Like, this show, I hate that I'm in the last season. Like, it makes me sad knowing that I only have about 9 episodes left of this.
I know, right?
Just to repeat what I've said already, I mean, it just feels so Dickensian and so like a book, like a sprawling study of a city. And just so many characters, and they keep introducing new characters. And then, I mean, for season 4, one of the main characters, you only see this person in like 2 or 3 episodes, because it's not about them. And it's just so brilliant. And I don't know. I'm in gush mode. So I absolutely adore this show. Season 4 is incredible. They're all great, but season 4 particularly, really, when it ended, I was like, the Steve Jobs meme, I was like, perfection. Like, that was amazing, the ride.
And the great thing for anybody listening, and it's good that you're not getting into specifics.
Yeah.
It's available on HBO Max.
Yes.
Just watch it. Like, it's 60 episodes, which is not that much. And you will follow Brian's trajectory.
Yeah, and the thing is each season is 13 episodes, 12 episodes. The last one is only 10, I think, and it gives you the satisfaction of having just read a really great book. It's just it goes more into the minutia and the smaller things than typical shows or movies do, and so when it ends, you just feel so much more connected to it. Yeah, I don't know. It's, you already know. It's so good. It's so good. I realize I'm like, joining the choir.
You're making me want to rewatch it, because the last time I saw it was probably 12 years ago, 13 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's been long enough now that I'm about due to revisit it.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man. So I can see doing that. Again, maybe like 5 years from now or a little later. Just kind of get it out of your head a little bit and get to pick that thing off the shelf again and enjoy it all over again. But
speaking of enjoying it all over again,
is this Jackass?
Yes.
Yeah. I saw Jackass Forever, which what's your relationship with Jackass? Do you have one?
Well, my dad used to call me that when I was a kid. And
Yeah. And then one time I lied and, left from home with a cricket and was turned into one, and it was kind of a nightmare.
I watched. I came into it kind of later.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I believe I watched the first movie
Yes.
first. That was my first exposure to Jackass. And I would say I don't know if I've seen all the movies. I've seen at least 2. This is the 4th one, right, or the 5th one?
4th one.
4th one. Okay, so I've definitely not seen all of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for what it is, if you want to watch people hitting the balls with various implements, then this except no substitutes.
I think was introduced to Jackass through the first movie. Also, I was in college, and some people had rented it, and I kind of had this eye rolly, like, okay, all right, like, fine, this is what we're watching tonight, and I just cackled the whole way through, and just immediately became endeared to these idiots, right. Because they choose to do this, right? It's Federico was asking me if it felt like hazing the movie, and I was like, no, because like they're all friends. It's weird. Like there's a weird sort of bonding in heart to it.
What's funny is I watch a show called Impractical Jokers.
Yes.
Which I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I'm familiar with it. I have not seen it.
And the premise there is it's these buddies who set each other up and have them do these really excruciating pranks.
Yeah.
And Jackass is like that, but on NOS.
NOS, yes.
Yeah,
100%. And it's, well, anyway, so needless to say, I then watched every movie when it came out. And this one, playing the trailers ad nauseum, I might add, before everything, because there's only like 5 movies coming out.
That's right.
5 months.
It's that and Dog.
Oh, Dog. We were texting about this. I think I've seen that Dog Channing Tatum movie trailer probably 10 times. And that's not healthy. Like you should not see anything that many times. And I was like, I don't know. And then I saw it was getting good reviews, and I was like, oh, well, all right. Like,
yeah, Channing
I guess I might have to
directed it, I think.
Yeah, co-directed, I think.
Okay.
Which is great. Actually, on a whole side tangent, the movie looks like one of those sort of family-friendly guy doesn't get along with a dog till he does movies. And seeing that it's getting all these good reviews, I thought, you know what? Great. Like, we always talk about, you just want the movie to be the best version of itself, and so many times it isn't. And It becomes sort of that thing that's predictable or just kind of half-assed. And you're like, why didn't they do the good version? And it looks like they did. They made the good version of a dog movie. And I was like, well, I want to see that. So actually, I was like, good for them.
It just would have been nice to not have seen the trailer 10 times.
I know. I hope that doesn't encapsulate all the beats of the movie. But anyway, real quick, I'll just say about Jackass. What is there to say? I laughed. And it's funny. I saw it with my buddy Chad, and we've seen, I think 2 through 4 we've seen together, and it's kind of our thing. And when it was over, we're like, I laughed, but I'm tired, and I think the movie feels that way too. They're getting older. I mean, some of them are in their 50s, and there's certain parts of it. Yeah.
Johnny Knoxville's hair is completely white.
Completely white. I know. It's like, you watch them, Steve-O, it's in the trailer. He's in a neck brace at one point, and you're like, ugh, I don't know. Maybe this should be it, But, certain things I still laugh at. Like it's in the trailer, like the whole marching band thing, but they're walking on across a treadmill and get flung across the room, stuff like that. But then sort of the grosser stuff, or someone lets like a scorpion sting them. And I was like, nah, I think I'm over this. So there were certain things I responded to more than others, and I left with a smile on my face. But if that was the last one, I'd be like, that was a nice run. That was good. And I think they felt that way too. I think there's a sense of them feeling a little bit older, and Johnny Knoxville. It's been in interviews. I mean, he gets hit by this bull, and in the film, I mean, he gets knocked over, like flipped around, lands on the ground, and does not move.
Yikes.
And everyone is like, oh. And it runs over, and an ambulance comes, and you're like, Yeah, man, dude. Thank you for the laughs, but let's
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, let's not put you in front of bulls anymore. But
Can you imagine Knoxville at like 80? He'll be like Harrison Ford, like doing the last Indiana Jones movie. Knoxville comes back in like 30 years. You're not doing it. You're not recasting me. You know?
I actually would be very curious what a 60-year-old jackass would look like if they sort of, conjured up a whole new version of it that was a bit like dangerous, but still as funny and surprising.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that was fun. It was good for a laugh. Then lastly,
Speaking of good for a laugh,
Death on the Nile.
No, I don't know.
By the way, did you know there was some meme with Gal Gadot in Death on the Nile from the trailer?
No.
So apparently there's some moment in the trailer where she says, welcome to the boat. There's this, there's that, and enough champagne. And then she throws the champagne over the side of the boat to fill the Nile.
Uh-huh.
And apparently everyone thought that was hilarious. I learned about it after I saw the movie, and I saw people posting videos of their theater waiting for that moment and cracking up when she said it. And I was like, wow, this is one of the first memes in a while I do not understand. But
that's really weird.
Yeah. I'd
get it if she was like, I am tired of this MFing death on this MFing Nile.
That's, you know what? I would have welcomed that. That would have been...
That I'd get.
Great. Yeah. But no, did you see Murder on the Orient Express?
I did see it. I liked it.
Me too. And, I wouldn't say it, created like fireworks in my brain while I was watching it necessarily. But I was like, well, that was a fun little mystery to get swept up in for a bit. And I would say that I feel the exact same way about this one.
That feels like exactly what you want out of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I wouldn't have minded a twinge more out of the characters or something. But I don't know. Like, it almost feels like, this is weird because it already exists, but it feels like a board game, like Clue come to life or something, where it's like Miss Peacock's extravagant, and that's like all you get. And this person's mysterious, and that's all you get. Like, I don't know. Like,
which, I mean, to be fair, Clue is trying to be an Agatha Christie mystery, right? I mean,
100%. But I was like, I was thinking it's a bit emotionally vacant, but at the same time, I was totally into it. Like, I was like, okay, let's do this. That person's acting weird. I just wrote down a couple of my thoughts so I wouldn't forget, but I wrote down paradoxically both visually sumptuous and flat.
Okay.
And I even bring that up because I think that sort of goes hand in hand a bit with the sort of emotionally vacantness of it. But having said all that, it is kind of interesting. Someone's murdered and everyone has a motive, and he, Kenneth Branagh is a quirky detective who sees things others don't, and that's just a formula for something intriguing. And so, all those little nitpicks aside, I did enjoy myself, and I think if that sounds interesting, if people want kind of a still 2-hour whodunit, I would recommend it.
It sounds like a wait for streaming.
I think it's safe to do that. Yeah, it feels like a great HBO Friday night movie.
We don't have to worry about it getting spoiled, like the multiverse opens up and other actors who played Hercule Poirot come through. We don't wanna,
exactly.
We don't want to spoil David Suchet's appearance in it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being kind of hard on it, but we walked out. We were like, hey, I'm glad we watched that. That was fun. So,
well, there we go.
Yeah, that's me.
Well, here's the thing I've seen, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the first several episodes of BEL-AIR.
Oh, I'm so curious about this.
So this is the new reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that takes the premise of the sitcom and treats it seriously, like a drama.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure I mean, this all started with like a concept trailer that somebody threw on YouTube,
mm-hmm.
almost as a gag. It went viral. It was made by a filmmaker named Morgan Cooper. It went viral. Will Smith saw it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Let's do this. Let's make this."
Mm-hmm.
And so it ends up on Peacock, and it's actually pretty good, I got to say.
Really? So, I mean, it almost feels like a no-brainer, right? I mean, because if you try to do Fresh Prince again as a comedy, I mean, who can step into Will Smith's shoes?
Exactly what I said. Yeah, I was like, the premise, the genius of the premise is you could do it as a serious thing and it totally works.
Yep.
But if you do it as a sitcom, not just Will Smith, who can replace James Avery? Who can replace Alfonso Ribeiro? I mean,
Yes.
Yes,
100%.
So divest the audience of the easy comparisons.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm glad. I've sort of seen mixed things on this, so I was a little curious, and I don't know where those people are coming from. If it's sort of devotion to the old show and an unwillingness to be open-minded, or if they just, I don't know, or if they just didn't like it. But yeah. I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Honestly, I think it is almost an open-mindedness, maybe, where some people just feel like the exercise is silly or unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and it's like, well, yeah, but that's what we do, right? Like we take IP, things that and we figure out how to repurpose it. And like we're talking about, it feels like this feels like a logical way to go. So, I mean, either you're open to it or you aren't.
Yeah, and there, there's the age old like, oh, did we need this? And it's like, well, no, we need food, water, and oxygen. Right? So no, we didn't need it, right? But that's the wrong question. As well, can you do it well?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, insofar as being engaging, I've been engaged.
Okay. How far in are you?
So they have dropped 4 episodes so far.
I have to ask: is Hillary dating Trevor?
No Trevor yet, although she seems to be hitting it off with Jazz, which is nice.
Ah, okay. Because Jazz always liked Hillary. Because I remember Trevor dies in some sort of bungee accident or something.
He has a tragic bungee accident.
Where he's proposing to her, right?
That's right.
It sounds weird laughing about it, but yeah, and it's I remember it's off camera. He's like, Hillary,
will you marry?
And everyone's watching him on TV like, ugh.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, and it's funny because Uncle Phil is like all like muscular and hot.
Interesting.
And that's different, right?
Yeah, that's different.
they went a completely different direction, and like, Carlton is kind of an asshole. He's not a lovable asshole like the Alfonso Ribeiro version,
Yeah.
So one presumes that we'll end up with them having the Will and Carlton relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not there yet. So it's look, to me, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the sitcom, is, I mean, it's great. It's still great. I still watch it.
Yeah.
And
so funny still. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And this show is in no danger of replacing that, but nor does it need to, because it's just doing something different with the basic premise.
Right.
And so I can go along with that,
Yeah.
It could easily have come off like the Joker Oscar SNL thing,
Yes.
And it doesn't feel like that. The guy, by the way, the main guy, Jabari Banks is his name. He plays Will. He's really good. I really like. I mean, those are not easy shoes to fill.
No.
But he's doing a good job with it. I like him.
It's funny when you really think about it, how Will Smith, I mean, he was not an actor back then, right? I mean, he was an entertainer.
And you could tell watching those early episodes.
But at the same time, his comedic physicality, his timing, I mean, maybe he needed to sharpen it over time, but like he had it. He's just a natural,
Well, I think to that point, because obviously now, I mean, he's Academy Award nominee for King Richard, and I was thinking about how, for him, probably the best thing possible was doing that show in front of a live audience, because you're getting like a real time readout of how your performance is working,
right?
Because you either get the laugh or you don't,
right?
And so when to your point about timing, that probably helped nurture his sense of timing. I mean, certainly by the time you get, and not very long, I would say, by the second, third season, he's headed in the right direction. By the end of the show, he's just legitimately, not just able to do comedy, but able to do the dramatic stuff.
Right.
So, I mean, he had the skill all along, and he had to make that shift from a musician to actor. So the fact that he was, in fact, able to do it relatively quickly, that's pretty remarkable,
Yeah, I think so.
So BEL-AIR is streaming on Peacock. Here's another show that is streaming, and it just ended its first season. It is PEACEMAKER on HBO Max. So I mentioned this briefly in a previous discussion, and I really liked it, man. I know you haven't seen it, but the show being done, I can safely recommend it to you.
Dude, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I liked the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn Suicide Squad, which PEACEMAKER was in. So I mean, does it feel like of that universe?
Very much so. I mean, it's a seamless continuation right where Suicide Squad left off. And I just watched the season finale this morning, and I kid you not, there were moments where I was like, "Oh, I think Brian will like that."
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel very comfortable saying you'll probably like the show.
Cool. All right, I'll check it out.
And John Cena, man, you talk about kind of Will Smith.
How
about this guy?
Yeah, right.
Brian, I'm not kidding. I think he could get an Emmy nomination off of PEACEMAKER.
Really?
I think he's that good in this show.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's a guy that always had it, capital I, and it feels like he's just getting sharper and sharper over time.
He is, yeah. He's absolutely terrific. And by the way, I should say, PEACEMAKER, when it was announced, I was that guy who was like, do we need this? And I hadn't even seen the Suicide Squad yet. I watched the Suicide Squad and I'm like, God, this character's awful, So I felt that for sure. And then I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. And James Gunn knows what you were thinking. And he that's the show he made where he's trying to take you on a journey along with the character.
Interesting.
All right. So that is 8 episodes. They're all on HBO Max, so check those out.
You know what? On the other side of the coin, people saying, do we need this? I think it's interesting that we have the reason, we got too many streamers, in my opinion. So there's the availability. So it's kind of cool that you can experiment a little bit. Do we need this? I don't know. Prove it. There wouldn't be a place for this show to exist 10 years ago, or probably likely would not have made that BEL-AIR show maybe for NBC proper. But now where you have these streamers and they are in desperate need of content, give it a shot. And then maybe it doesn't work and it fades away, or maybe you surprise everyone and you get PEACEMAKER and BEL-AIR,
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
I agree. Well, and actually, one thing I've noticed is, with PEACEMAKER, for example, and actually also with BEL-AIR, they, rather than just drop it all at once, they've done the weekly rollout, right? And certainly with PEACEMAKER, you can see how that's paid dividends because the word of mouth has grown with each episode. So you've seen this, instead of a 3-day social media conversation and then everybody moves on, you've had a 2-month conversation.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. And I saw that the finale was the highest rated HBO Max finale of any series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, I mean, there's not a.
But
we're slicing the apple pretty thin at that point, right?
But hey, I'll take it if I made that show.
The win, whichever way you get it.
Yeah.
And actually, speaking of dropping shows all at once, this is another one that I have not watched the whole way. I'm about halfway through it, but it is Reacher. And this is the new series adaptation of the Lee Child character, previously played by Tom Cruise.
Yep.
In the show, he's played by Alan Ritchson, who's probably like 3 feet taller, I think.
And that's closer to the book.
Yeah, I mean, I have not read the books, but by all indications, in the books, he's described as a behemoth of a thing.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is certainly behemoth in his own mind.
Sure.
We know that, but yeah, I thought the Tom Cruise, like, they were fine. I thought,
I remember liking the first one, and I thought the second one was okay.
yeah, I mean, neither of them really stayed with me,
Yeah.
but like, that's fine.
Mhm.
I think the show is better.
Really?
I think so. I just think I think it seems like a character who's better suited to this type of storytelling, where
Okay.
you can tell a story over more time with
Yeah.
lower stakes.
Sure.
And so I think that just works. Now, again, I have not read the novels, but just based on the comparison with the films, certain Alan Ritchson, I mean, he's fantastic, and he's been kicking around since forever. This guy.
Okay.
He played Aquaman on Smallville.
Oh, huh.
I think he actually started as like on American Idol, like he was
What?
like a contestant.
Wow. Okay.
And he played Raphael in the new Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Which he's previously talked about was just like one of the worst experiences of his life.
Really?
Yeah, because just the way the turtle actors were treated.
That is so ironic, I guess. I mean, if they're the titular turtles,
isn't that funny? Yeah,
they're treated the worst. I mean, they were in like mocap suits or something, right?
Yeah. So basically, they were treated like furniture.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But he, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but this really does feel like the role that was made for him. So I feel like he's going to blow up. I have to say, I was watching with my wife, and she was trying to describe him while watching, and she just kind of trailed off, which I found a little hurtful, to be honest. She's like, he's so, and she's just like that.
He's like a mighty oak tree with arms, and
just so sinewy and supple. Yeah. Again, I found it slightly hurtful. But I guess that's her type.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. They found out on accident, but
so she hit the lotto with me, Brian.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm about halfway in. It's a 10 episode season or whatever. Actually, let me see how many episodes it is. I should know this. They dropped all the episodes at once, which again, to my point, kind of goes to what I was saying. Like, people talked about it for a couple of days,
right.
That's it.
Yeah. It's funny because I mean, I have to be honest. Watching The Wire, we watch at least 2 a night, sometimes 3, and I need it. I need my fix. You know what I mean? So I'm very thankful that it's all there. But yeah, I see the value in extending, like you say, extending this sort of cultural currency out as long as you can. And going back to Pam and Tommy, if it was like a binge thing, maybe I'd do it. I don't know. If I saw there was like 8 of them and I wasn't feeling it too in, I might stop. But like when there's a new one and I don't have anything on a Monday, I'm like, oh yeah, like there's something like a hook to it that way.
Yeah. So there's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's good. I enjoy it. So
okay, I'll check that out. I like the movie, and if you think it's even better than the movie,
I definitely think it's better than the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a short break, and then we'll come back and talk through some listener letters and whatnot. And we are back, and hey, here's a letter that we got from Jeremy Lloyd, Brian. He says, hey guys, haven't listened to your recent episode on Boba Fett yet, so maybe this was brought up, but wanted to run this by you. Given what we've seen Favreau and Filoni have done, bringing young Luke back to the screen, do you think it's possible in the future they try to do what the sequel trilogy failed to do in giving us a scene with the big 3 back together one more time? Would you be on board for that?
Never say never. If I've learned anything for the past couple of years, never say never. But no.
You don't think they'll do it, or you would not be on board for that?
My never say never goes to them doing it. Do I want it? No. And I think the reason is, can we talk about Boba Fett? I mean, do we have enough time, or should we say we don't want to spoil things. Maybe skip ahead a couple minutes.
Yeah. Now's as good a time as any.
Okay. So skip a couple of minutes if you're still going through it. But Luke shows back up in Boba Fett, where we saw him at the final episode of season 2 of Mandalorian, and it was really satisfying seeing him at the end of Mandalorian. But they walked right up to the edge, the limits of what that technology could do, and putting young Luke in a show with real actors, right? Mm-hmm. And then in Boba Fett, you're like, whoa, like they have pushed the technology forward, and it still has its limits. But right. And I think a lot of it is sort of the mouth, right? Like a lot of his dialogue happened with his back to screen, and I don't care. Like, I'm just happy to have him there, and I think it's really cool what they were able to pull off. Having said that, again, there's only so much you can do, is what I'm realizing, right? And I think, having him and some sort of digital recreation of Carrie Fisher with Harrison Ford, who I can't imagine wanting to do it. Maybe they recreate a young Han. I don't know. I just don't know if it'll ever feel. It won't have the humanity, like just that thing that whatever it is that spark that real humans really bring. I just as good as it will look, I just think it will lack the humanity. I don't know. You?
I don't think you're wrong, but I feel like that's where we're headed.
Probably.
I feel like Luke has been, and I agree with what you're saying, because he feels like a non-playable character a little bit in a video game.
And they edit really wisely. Like they push him to the limit. Like they get as much as they can out of him, and I am jaw on the floor impressed.
Yeah.
But for what a reunion between these three characters would require, I in this moment, I don't feel like we're there yet, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
I agree with that. I do think we're going to head there. And I'm not, I think to Jeremy's point, like it won't be the same,
Yeah.
We had a chance to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason they didn't. And that opportunity has been lost to the ages.
Yep.
I think this technology allows us to get a window into these characters during that time. But the problem is that we know it's not real, so we will always be looking for the seams.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And as remarkable as the Luke effect was in this last episode, and I didn't see any seams, I think I said that last time, I'll always be looking for it.
Yeah.
Unconsciously.
Right.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I don't know, on Reddit the other day, I don't know if you saw this, it was going around a little bit, but there was showing where video games, began and where they are now. And there's like some game where there's this. So they showed Lara Croft when she was basically just like a circle for a head and triangles for boobs and, like a rectangle for a body. And then there's a woman's face in some game. I don't recall what it was, but you could see the sunlight going through her ear. Like the color changed because the sun was coming through her ear. And there was that really, really soft hair that everybody kind of has on the side of their faces. And it was like, dude, we're there,
Yeah.
I think they could make it look really good, but I just feel like there will be 1 degree removed, just that humanity spark. I don't know. It would be challenging. And maybe we will squint a little bit like a magic eye painting because we want to have it. But I don't know. Not anytime soon for me.
I do feel that the reason that they're doing this digital Luke is that Disney read the reaction to like Solo as being, we don't want to see these characters recast.
Sure. So if you're gonna have young Luke, Mark Hamill or bust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong about that.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
I wonder if or maybe it's just, that's what he looks like during that era. And I don't know. I do. I mean, Mark Hamill has like promoted this stuff, so he's at least somewhat okay with it. But I
he's
genuinely,
involved, right?
not in the Boba Fett episode.
Oh, I saw he was credited. I don't.
Well, he's credited because it's his face and his voice. I mean, he's still got to get paid for it.
So that's a question I have for you. Do you think that was his voice? Was that some sort of weird AI thing?
It was an AI voice.
Okay, that's kind of what it felt like.
They plugged in everything, every interview that's ever done.
Wow.
And so they've got like a computer that speaks Mark Hamill.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty
that's
good.
That's what it was for The Mandalorian also.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
At no point is it like Hamill now talking.
Or like some sound alike.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think Harrison Ford has something written out where, like, once he's dead, like, leave me alone?
I wonder. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, considering the two characters he plays, one of the most iconic Indiana Jones, Han Solo. I feel like Disney has to own him somehow.
So, well, I mean, the other thing I was thinking is, I mean, for Hamill, it's like found money, right? Like,
right, sure.
So at least on that level, he's got to be somewhat okay with it. Like, hey,
and he's such a fan, just in general, of things.
Yeah.
He seems like the type of guy to be like, let's try it.
Right.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. So I guess it's kind of like a wait and see. I mean, they're going to push the envelope and continue, and I think that's good. I think they should keep pushing the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
I was proven wrong about seeing a young Han Solo in the Boba Fett finale.
Oh right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I still believe we're going to see that
at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's going to be something, isn't it? Well, I mean, think about where it was in Rogue One, right? With that Princess Leia moment, which was like, that's off. I appreciate what you tried to do, but that's off. And then you look at Mandalorian season 2 and you're like, wow, okay. And then you look at Boba Fett and you're like, oh, we're there.
Yeah.
Like we did it.
I mean, even Peter Cushing in Rogue One.
Yeah, I just because I know what I know, I knew that was a CGI creation, and I thought it was pretty impressive.
I think so.
But I was shocked how many people actually thought that was a real person.
And I have a feeling it seems more fake now than it did back then.
Yeah.
Because the technology has improved.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you for that, Jeremy. And real quick, I wanted to mention that Jeremy has a new podcast called Get to the Podcast.
Get to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Which looks back with nostalgia at action movies from our era, the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fun!
So they've had episodes about Predator and Time Cop, and latest one is about Black Dog.
Wow!
The Patrick Swayze trucker movie.
Yeah.
with Meatloaf as the villain in that one.
I don't know about this, Patrick. That's my Meatloaf, I guess. I don't know. I just picturing Patrick Swayze. I realized that people needed to see what was going on in my brain when I did that. But anyway, never mind. Let's move on.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy. Let's talk about some trailers, Brian.
Let's do it.
So, hey, we got a new trailer for Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, I just saw it on the big screen last night, actually.
Well, Brian, there's only one part of this trailer I want you to play the audio for. I think you know which part.
I think I do.
Ellie Sattler.
Alan Grant.
You didn't come out all this way just to catch up now, did you?
You coming or what?
We're racing toward the extinction of our species. We not only lack dominion over nature, we're subordinate to it.
Okay, you know what? It made me so happy seeing Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and Ian Malcolm occupying the same frame.
Mm-hmm.
Like I cannot even begin to express how happy it made me.
Yeah.
This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this for almost 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board for.
I don't care about anything else. I don't care.
You know what?
Nothing else matters to me at this point. I get to see these three heroes back together.
I have not hated any of the Jurassic World series. Like I thought the first one was fun. I thought I thought the second one was not as great. And so when I see, the people that I love in this new trailer, I'm like, well, I really want to spend time with those guys and see them fix this mess, kind of. But it also makes me kind of sad that I have no feelings to the other half of the trailer. Like, I don't even remember Chris Pratt's character's name. I don't remember Bryce Dallas Howard's character's name. Like, I don't, like all of that kind of means nothing to me. And that's a bummer. I have no snarky feelings toward it. I'm just kind of sad, actually. I wish I felt more for those other two films. See, so I could be like, wow, these new characters I love teaming up with the old characters I love, and so for me, it's the thrill came from seeing my characters.
Yeah.
And also, I know people weren't a fan of it, or some people weren't fans of this at the end of the second one, but I liked all the dinosaurs spilling into the real world. And in the trailer where you see a T-Rex
keep the story going.
Yeah, like at a drive-in, right? Or I'm all for that. I mean, even since this Lost World came out, I know the San Diego sequence some people weren't fans of. I was like, dude, sign me up. Like dinosaurs running around San Diego, that's my jam. So there's a lot of potential with this. I just wish I was more endeared to the current iteration of the series. So I was wholly excited.
I think that's a valid critique. I do wonder if that's a critique that the modern audience feels,
What do you mean?
The kid audience, like what we were when the first Jurassic Park came out.
Right. So like they, well, yeah, with your kids, I mean, are they into this?
Yeah, I mean, for them, it's just all Jurassic Park.
Totally. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, this was introduced to me years after my fandom of the original. And, I'm never going to have an attachment to it like a 10-year-old would seeing it for the first time recently.
It was, I've said this on this show so many times, but, I took my oldest to the 20th anniversary screening of Jurassic Park. He was 6.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's just grown up with these movies. So we watched the trailer for the new one, and then, Alan Grant shows up, and he's like, whoa, nice.
Oh, really?
And he was so happy,
I love that.
And it's in a much more compressed window, but I mean, this has been his franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
How old is he, by the way? I mean, I'm sort of fascinated by this whole thing, right? Where Indiana Jones, it's like in his 80s, and that's the action star I want to go see. And like Alan Grant, maybe late 60s, early 70s. Maybe
he's 74.
74? So he's 74, and your 10-year-old is like
well preserved for 74.
He looks fantastic. They all do, actually. Yeah. But just that your 10-year-old is like, nice, 74-year-old Alan Grant. Let's kick some ass.
my 15-year-old.
15-year-old, sorry. That's I don't know. That's something I'm currently fascinated with.
That's because we don't, we haven't gotten anybody to really replace them in that same way,
Yeah, but I love it.
There's no new Indiana Jones, which is, I have a feeling, a conversation we'll have later in this episode.
Yes. yes. That's hilarious. Okay.
So Jurassic World Dominion comes out this June.
Okay. All right.
I think Universal pushed the release date. It was supposed to be, I feel like it was supposed to come out last year.
That makes sense.
But I'm glad it was supposed to be June of last year, but it is June 10th of this year. Okay. Here's another movie that's coming out slightly sooner.
Yes.
And it is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Let's play some of this.
I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it. Wanda. What do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
You know what's fascinating to me about, and this is just sort of the Marvel effect, I guess, is when the first Doctor Strange movie came out, people were like, well, what's this all about? Like, that's so weird. But now it's like, dude, new Doctor Strange movie! It's funny how that works.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just got to trust the Marvel machine, you know? Take any character, they're going to make you like them.
I have to say, I am somebody who, despite being a lifelong Marvel Comics fan, and despite knowing who Doctor Strange was basically all my life, I was never a, like, quote-unquote fan of Doctor Strange.
Interesting.
And I would say it's the MCU that has made me a Doctor Strange fan.
Okay. Why is that? I mean, have they tweaked him a bit to make him a little more intriguing to you, or?
I mean, if I'm honest, these movies are the, well, really, we've only had one Doctor Strange movie, but like his presence in these films has been the first time I've really spent time with him as being anything other than sort of a Deus Ex Machina character who shows up at the end of a story and does a little spell, and
I see.
He always struck me as sort of removed, and I think Benedict Cumberbatch plays him with a level of humanity, a little snark, that helps. And then obviously the first film really grounds him.
Right.
It gives him a struggle that I think most people can relate to. And I've said before that the scene in the first film where the Ancient One, the final conversation that Strange has with the Ancient One,
I haven't seen this at the theater. I can't remember.
Her astral self leaves her body, and he's sort of talking to her in astral form. And her final lesson, she says, "It's not about you." Through the character development and just sort of the time we spent with the character, I've grown to absolutely love the character, and so I'm like super excited for this movie. I was excited for it anyway, and then this new trailer just kind of blew my hair back. Yeah,
I mean, it looks crazy, and I didn't notice this. By the way, we're getting so many multiverse
kind of funny
stories lately. Isn't it kind of interesting? And it's amazing that they've turned out well so far, right? I mean, Spider-Man was one of my favorite movies of last year, but it allows so many opportunities. I mean, like the possibilities are endless, right? So it's like any sort of thing that you could make up with whatever toys you have in your toy box, the adventure you thought no movie could ever do, or like only the random toys you have in your imagination. It's like now filmmakers are like, well, I don't know, let's try that.
Yeah.
Like you can put anybody into anything and do anything. And I'm really, really curious what this one's going to do.
Well, we have about halfway through the trailer, we hear the voice.
Right.
Did you recognize the voice the first time you watched the trailer?
I read the article that had the link to the trailer. They mentioned it, so I sort of was already looking for it.
So for those of you who didn't recognize the voice, that was Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
One presumes he's playing Charles Xavier and not, Jean-Luc Picard.
Wouldn't that be something?
You want a multiverse? He's playing Gurney from Dune. I mean, this actually makes all the sense in the world. Like if you're talking about a multiverse, this is an even easier swing for Disney than the stuff in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been sort of coy ever since the whole Disney-Fox merger thing about plans for X-Men, right? I mean,
correct.
And this is kind of an opportunity for them to do a one-off little send-off, right? To that iteration, and then they can feel free in whatever universe they exist in to have their own X-Men, right?
Yeah, I mean, one presumes that we'll get like MCU X-Men that'll be different,
right?
But we've already established in Spider-Man that there is a multiverse where Tobey Maguire Spider-Man exists. So then, why the hell not? Can't we do this?
Right.
I do love that now. Assuming this does turn out to be Charles Xavier, how we said earlier, like, oh well, now Spider-Man is the first MCU movie, and I guess technically this makes X-Men the first MCU movie.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So this one, it was supposed to come out, like I think this month. I think it was supposed to come out
Oh, okay.
originally, but it's in May now.
All right. Yeah.
First week of May. So we got this year. There's Doctor Strange and then Thor 4.
Thor on the floor.
Thor.
When is that?
That is July 4th weekend or thereabouts.
So nothing in. Usually there's sort of a Thanksgiving-y end of the year kind of thing too.
Well, let's see. What's the MCU calendar for this? Oh, we got the Black Panther sequels this year.
Oh, that's this year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But they've had ungodly delays.
Yeah.
Because of various issues with vaccinations and injuries and
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there, but yeah, that's you were asking about Thanksgiving. That's November of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty busy calendar.
Yeah. Right.
Well, hey, let's take a short break and we can talk through some headlines.
All right.
And we are back, and just a little bit of sad news to start things out, Brian.
Yeah.
Ivan Reitman has left us.
Yep.
This one feels, I don't know, this one hit me, I have to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, his films, I mean, we knew who he was,
yeah,
right, for so long, and I think a lot of his films, certainly, Ghostbusters, but there's some that I forget, like Twins.
That's right.
Kindergarten Cop. Yeah. I mean, because he also did like Stripes and Meatballs and all those. I think for some reason I kind of keep him in the early '80s, but I forget about some of the later ones that he did.
He did
Dave, which is, I mean, that's a movie that I feel like has not been sort of like Sneakers, where it just doesn't come up on cable very often or something, and it almost feels a little lost. But my memory of it is that it's a really great movie.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the last movie he directed was Draft Day,
which was good,
which I really liked.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, of course, he's best known for the Ghostbusters franchise, and I mean, he was so front and center just a few months ago, right alongside Jason Reitman, his son, who directed Ghostbusters Afterlife, as they talked about their experience making this movie together.
Yeah,
and so I mean, he seemed so present.
Yeah,
he didn't seem like somebody who had faded away, right? So I think that's what made this a little bit extra, like a kick in the gut, right?
Yeah, and it's my very first thought when I heard that was that I thought it was so nice that he was able to see his son sort of take the torch of Ghostbusters, make a movie. Seemingly, it seemed like he was kind of involved with it to some degree. They made sort of like a Godfather-y sort of role overseeing, and even his hands are in the movie in insert shots I've read. That must have just been a really nice thing for them.
He for the scene with McKenna Grace where she interacts with the ghost of Egon, that was Ivan Reitman. I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, as a dad, for him to be able to see his son pick up that legacy, and succeed with it because the film did well, and it will likely continue on.
It's almost the family business now.
The family business, yeah. So really, just a huge talent. Such a loss, really. Like this one cut deep. It really did.
I would like to go back and see Twins again. I haven't seen that in a long time. And
I mean, he did kind of a Schwarzenegger trilogy because he did Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and Junior.
Which I don't think I've ever seen Junior.
I have not seen Junior.
Yeah.
But he was, I mean, they were planning on reteaming later this year for triplets.
Right. Was it like Eddie Murphy or something?
I believe Tracy Morgan.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah. Which almost sounds better, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if that movie's still going to happen. I mean, maybe it shouldn't.
Mental exercise. Maybe it should.
I mean, the entire pitch comes down to we have 3 brothers, and he's black.
Actually, that does feel very 80s, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
But they were planning, like Ivan Reitman was planning on making that movie, so I do wonder if they will keep it alive as a testament to him, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But he will be missed, Ivan Reitman.
Yep.
Here's another. This is some exciting news.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about Star Wars earlier with the Book of Boba Fett. The next Star Wars thing in the shoot is the Obi-Wan Kenobi television series.
Oh, baby.
And as if we were not already excited enough for this show, which debuts, by the way, May 25th, the 45th anniversary of Star Wars.
Wow.
It will be the theme music will be composed by none other than this young up and comer, hoping for his big break, Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams, I've heard. Yeah.
He's a jazz musician
guy.
of some note.
Yeah, pianist, I think. I don't know. Dude, 90 years old, that man.
Amazing.
Speaking of, me looking forward to 80-year-olds kicking ass in films.
Yeah, right?
I can't wait for the output of this 90-year-old. I gotta say, when I honestly can't remember if this was on air or off air, but I think it's really interesting and cool what they're doing with the Star Wars television shows. But they're kind of doing a little bit of their own thing, like, with the scores, especially, right? They're a little more tony than themey and kind of Western and twangy and spare, and I think they work for the material. But when they mentioned they're doing this Obi-Wan show, I was like, ooh, look, I know Obi-Wan from the films. I would really love this to feel like it's an extension of the films. And for me, a big part of that is a John Williams-y, at least, score. And when I saw that John Williams was doing this, I was like, oh, thank you. Like, so at least that will be sort of the root that things grow out of, maybe sonically for that show. I don't know. I hope. But for me, that was like that. That is just exactly what I've been praying for. So,
I mean, Williams did the Han Solo theme for Solo. And the score itself was, I think, Harry Gregson Williams did that, right?
Yeah, actually, I don't remember, but yeah.
I'd have to look that up. I'm assuming it'd be something similar. Yeah, sort of like Superman 4. He did the theme music for like the Nuclear Man and what's her name, the Mariel Hemingway's character.
Sure.
And it's something like that, right? But just having his little tapped with his magic wand.
You know what? Yep, exactly. And like that's perfect for me. So I was thrilled. Needless to say.
Yes.
But by the way, sorry, go ahead.
Just real quick, Solo was composed by John Powell.
Oh, okay, which was good. I remember.
He did a good score. By the way, they just dropped it a couple days ago. The complete score of Rogue One by Michael Giacchino.
Ah, okay.
And it is fantastic.
So I gotta look that up. I was gonna pivot to Giacchino because they've been dropping the Batman. Themes.
I've avoided listening to anything but the theme.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I listened to the Riddler theme, and I was like, yes. Like this is like the scores that get Brian jumping out of his seat. Like big orchestra, really memorable themes. They feel like a mood, but they also kind of ring in your head, and it's very bombastic. And I was like, oh, if this is what we're doing, So anyway, I think like he is one of the few people to be sort of carrying on the tradition of John Williams, right? I mean,
very few.
We'll get to Uncharted, but I was sort of like, was there a score? I don't even remember, when I was walking out of that.
Right.
So, which could have really used a big bombastic score, in my opinion. So
I totally agree.
Anyway,
By the way, speaking of the Batman, I should mention, just this morning I saw an article where they interviewed Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler, and it says, he was unable to sleep at night because of how disturbing the Riddler was, and having to live with that character inside his head. And I was like, what happened to just like playing the character and sleeping just fine?
Right.
Like I feel like this has become like a requisite. You have to talk about how miserable you were.
Yeah.
Playing this cartoon character.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of when Heath Ledger passed away, and people were like, "Ooh, I wonder if that role got to him." And I was like,
"Right,
please." Like,
I mean, I'm sure Paul Dano will be great.
No, for sure. And Heath Ledger was great. It's just funny that it's like people want it or something.
Like I don't remember Jim Carrey being like, "Man, I had to say joygasm again and again and again." And it burrows deep into your soul.
Yeah, which, by the way, if people have not seen that movie in a while, that happens.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's Riddler yells joygasm.
Because why on earth not?
Why wouldn't he? That's really funny. But you know what? Paul Dano's a great actor, by the way. So I mean, that is absolutely not us cutting into him, because I mean, he's fantastic. But it's just such a funny. It almost feels like when they talk to their publicists before they go on the publicity tour for these things. It's like, it always plays talking about how you can't sleep. Right. The villain, And it's like,
does it feel like that a little bit?
Yeah.
But regardless, we are looking forward to that movie. So.
Yeah. Oh man, I saw the trailer for that too last night, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm done watching this trailer. I want to do it.
Well, here's something I'm excited for, Brian.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm still excited because I choose hope. And this is the official announcement that they are doing a 4th Star Trek movie starring Chris Pine and company. And this was announced a couple of days ago at Paramount's big, investor day.
Okay.
And the headline is, new Star Trek movie going into production, bringing back Chris Pine and the whole clown car of people that came with it. But when you read a little further, it says Paramount is about to enter negotiations with Chris Pine and company.
Right.
Which to me is not the same as they're about to do this.
Right. Yeah, so like we floated this idea past Chris Pine, and we're not sure if he heard us or not, but he didn't say no.
Doesn't it feel like that a little bit?
A little bit.
Now, what they've said, now, for those of you who don't follow that stuff, and it's good if you don't, there was a merger where CBS merged with Viacom, right? And other than creating this massive conglomerate, one thing it has done, it has now put all of the Star Trek rights under one roof. Because what was happening before, right? Because Star Trek was native to CBS, technically, when the company split previously. And so Paramount, even though they were making the Star Trek movies, they were essentially licensing it from CBS.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Which cut down on the profit margin when you think about it. So now the company's back together. So now Star Trek is one. So they want to maximize it. So they were like, well, one of the first orders of business is getting a Star Trek movie rolling again. And the question was, what should it be? Should it be a reboot? Should it be this? Should it be that? And I love this. They did market research.
Really?
Yeah, they did market research, basically asking, do you want to see grounded, realistic stories or wild, wacky?
Yeah. You don't know what you want.
That's basically, I think, what happened. So I think I would assume that like a straight up, like something entirely different with the Star Trek label was proposed, or something with the people that people know already. And it seemed like the reaction to the focus testing made them say it's worth doing another movie with these actors.
I think that makes sense. By the way, that was a Simpsons reference for people wondering why.
What we're 2 episodes in a row referencing the same episode. Right?
Yeah. I think that makes sense because those movies were successful. Those actors are liked.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, why would you even risk trying to capture that chemistry again?
And the other thought I had is that the first of these J.J. Abrams films was released in 2009.
Right.
And
wow.
so 13 years at this point. And so there's a lot of like nostalgia now. So it would almost feel like a reunion movie, you know?
That's wild.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about it, because the last one is 2016.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, I remember I was at Bob's Burgers for that. Because I remember you came and visited me
That's right.
at work, and we saw the movie, and we liked it, and then we came into work, and people were talking to us about it, and they're like, oh, that sucked. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
That's right.
That's like a strong memory I have about that third one. But we liked it.
Well, I'm excited, so I hope this happens. So at least for the time being, I'm holding out hope that this actually happens.
Can you imagine? See, that's the thing too. I mean, if you want to come up with a new Star Wars movie, like a Mandalorian show, you got to come up with a new, cool, compelling character, right? But if you are trying to do new Star Trek, you're trying to recast characters that everybody already knows, and they have to have some sort of chemistry with one another. And we have to like, that's a good Spock, that's a good Kirk, that's a good Uhura. You know, like, that's a daunting task. I wouldn't want to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, I've said this on the show before. Those characters should not have been recastable.
Right.
Yet they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like somehow they just found the exact people to do it.
Yeah.
And so to me, you magically got yourself another Captain Kirk. You hang on to him.
Mm-hmm.
You hang on to him, Brian. You don't let go.
Yeah, that's right.
You tell him how you feel. You get on that. You get to that airport terminal before he gets on that plane, and you tell him how much he means to you.
I gotta go.
So that's how I feel about Star Trek 4.
I'm here for it. I love those films.
I also feel like, hey, if you're doing Star Trek 4, you better have some goddamn whales in it.
Yes. Yeah, totally. That would be amazing if they did that. Yeah. It feels like just with the way things are going now, all these Lego sequel things, you know, you get back, you know, William Shatner's still alive, and you go back and make the whale movie, but you get the old Kirk back, and
yeah, right.
The multiverse, and
it's all, everybody's. I mean, it's like battle of the IPs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. But I don't care. I'm excited for this. I choose to remain excited.
Ditto. I'm first in line for that.
They plan to start filming at the end of the year, assuming negotiations work out, and hopefully that means the movie would come out December of next year. So let's see how that goes. That said, Brian, I hear some music I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh, really? Sounds like someone's up to their old tricks again. MoviePass, your friend and mine.
I think more your friend than mine.
Even as I said that, I was like, no, that was kind of my deal. MoviePass. I will chuckle at MoviePass in their direction, but I can't be mad at them. I would pick them up if they fell down, because you know what? That was a magical whatever amount of months that was. I mean, it was so novel, right? I mean, now movie theaters are offering these plans. I have one with Regal where I pay $23 a month or something, and I can see as many movies as I want. And it's great. And Movie Film kind of started that thing, and they just had an unsustainable business plan, though, is the problem. And so, and then they got really weird where they produced like a John Gotti movie starring John Travolta, and then all of a sudden Mission Impossible came out, and you couldn't use your card for Mission Impossible, but you could go to the John Gotti movie. You know, like they got really weird toward the end there, and it was kind of sad and spiraled out. But they're back, Zaki. MoviePass 2.0 was announced. They had some sort of I was going to say some sort of meeting. I don't even know what it was. I mean, were there people in the audience? Was it just there was someone who was dressed up like Steve Jobs, right? The black turtleneck jeans deal, saying that MoviePass was returning, but it was going to operate with a different sort of structure, right? And the one that caught most people's attention. Well, let me go back. It's now on sort of like a points system, right? So you have to earn points, enough points to go use them on a movie. One of the ways to earn points is if you straight up watch ads. So if you watch a certain amount of ads, you'll get a certain amount of points, which will eventually add up to you being able to use those points to go watch a film. But I think the sort of dystopian part of this that everyone was sort of like, wait, say that again? Your phone can tell if your eyeballs look away from the screen. So if you pull up your phone, because sometimes this happens on a web page, like an ad will come, you're like, are you kidding me? So you open another window to do something else for 30 seconds, but then it stops playing, right? And so you have to have that going, but you don't have to look at it. You just have to have that tab as the prominent open tab on your computer to get that ad over with. But this one knows if your eyes are looking at it.
This is some Skynet shit right here.
Dude, this is like the beginning of something. I think, you know what? That's me. That's wrong because, let's be honest, I'm sure that tech already exists for like the CIA or something. But like anything I say that the tech exists for the CIA already should not apply to my movie app. Right? I don't know. So what do you feel about this?
Look, I mean, this is going to crash and burn. I mean, it is. Let's be real.
Yeah.
What we've seen since the heyday of MoviePass, those 3 years ago, is that other, like the theater chains have figured out how to use that model.
Exactly.
And I think most people who are signed up, whether it's for Cinemark's, whatever their thing is, or AMC's A-list, people seem to be locked in with that, and it's dependable. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they have, they're not like some sort of independent company. I mean, they can figure out what works for them. They already have revenue coming in. It feels more sturdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just say, MoviePass, RIP.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take another break, Brian, and we'll come back and we will talk about Uncharted.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. And you know who else is back, Brian?
Who's that? Actually, I don't know.
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake is back
for the first time
in movie form. Yeah,
but is he going to be in POG form?
That's the real question.
No, I should. Okay, so Uncharted, the movie, is in theaters right now, and it is overperforming.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which weirdly makes me happy.
Me too. Actually,
now, I should say, and maybe I'm burying the lead here. I did not like this movie. I should say that.
I was so curious. I wasn't so sure I was going to be able to see this in time. And when you said you saw it, I was like, okay, I'm doing this so we can talk about it. And then you're like looking forward to the discussion or something. I was like, oh, I wonder if you liked it. So actually, I watched the movie through the lens of wondering if you liked it. That's
oh, no. This is inverse usually because it's me thinking like what you're thinking.
Yeah, well, I wasn't making up my mind during the film. I went in with that.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be a great talk. I
have not played the game.
Yeah.
I know you have.
Yes, I love the game.
You're quite the aficionado, as I recall.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
So I went in just purely taking it as what it is, right? And so when I said I'm glad it's doing well, that seems paradoxical, but for me it's because honestly I like Tom Holland and I want to see him succeed in something other than Spider-Man.
I agree. He's a very likable presence.
He is. However, I will say this. I don't think this was a particularly good showcase for him, in my opinion. Because I don't think he really got to do anything different than what he does in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, this movie's so weird. Like, talking about this movie is so hard. Because is this a good Uncharted movie? No. Is this is this an okay movie?
I'm going to say no. I didn't hate it, but I forgot about it by the time I got home, and I lived 3 minutes from the theater.
Okay, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, I was going with Tom Holland because, like, is he Nathan Drake? He is absolutely not. And I read an interview. No, I'm sorry. I read like someone recapping an interview where they saw Tom Holland saying that he hated his performance in this movie because he was so concentrated on trying to live up to the physicality of this character that he absolutely does not resemble at all. Like, I think it was in his head.
Yeah.
Like, people know I don't look like this guy, so I'm going to try my damnedest to like somehow physically become this person. Performance be damned, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I can see myself doing it, and it actually kind of drives me crazy. And it kind of made me feel bad for him because he is miscast.
And yet he was cognizant of exactly what was in my head.
Yeah. Dude, Mark Wahlberg, I have no problems with Mark Wahlberg.
Mark
Terribly
Wahlberg in
cast.
this movie, Brian, Mark Wahlberg
Yes.
in this movie is playing Andy Samberg playing Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. You got me a cat? What would you give me a cat
going on
for?
here?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on here, guys?
Yeah, I saw a review that kind of summed up how I felt about this, which is the first half of this movie. Okay. My claws can come out here. I didn't really realize like you're gonna hate it.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it.
It's funny. Again, it's so funny how this happens because I was watching it through the lens thinking someone enjoyed it.
Okay.
And so I was like, this isn't working for me. This isn't working for me. But then at the end, I will give them, I thought the final set piece was really cool. I thought that, I remember that, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I think that made me look back on the whole movie even more and go, wow, this was just like such a nothing burger. Like,
yes.
I mean, the whole fun of those games, aside from them being okay, here's the thing. Everybody tries to make like an Indiana Jones movie, right? Like everyone wants to make the new Indiana Jones. And this is, gosh, I am like so that Sean always says this. I'm that character from Saturday Night Live that
I was just thinking that.
because it keeps inspiring another thought and I keep changing. I want to go back even further. I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to lean into it.
Okay.
I find something fascinating, Zaki. When you look at The Simpsons, half of the jokes they're making are references to things that those people grew up watching. Mm-hmm. And I don't know those things. So I'm either they're repeating it and I think it's funny because I don't get it, or they're doing a spin on something and making it funny through a new lens, which would be a Simpsons character. And that's, I have the benefit of not knowing half that stuff.
Okay.
And they can then twist it and build on it and do something new and interesting. And if you learn what that is, or say like Citizen Kane, I didn't know half the Citizen Kane references until I was much older, but they still wrung a joke out of that, right? But I think similarly, Indiana Jones is almost, or is over 40 years old at this point. But anytime, and he's riffing on serials I've never seen. So when I see these tropes, I go, that's Indiana Jones. Although Spielberg and Lucas were riffing on something that came from them that I don't know. And like, we have the benefit of not being aware of this stuff because that stuff didn't really live on, right? But The Simpsons, if I make a Simpsons joke sometimes in like a script I write, people go, oh, that's from The Simpsons. I'm like, yeah, but I'm riffing on something I like or whatever. But if I never want to just repeat a joke because that's weak. But like if I'm alluding to something, I'm trying to like maybe wink at something that I remember from The Simpsons, but it's still 30 years later, so at the forefront of people's minds that it isn't a wink. You know what I mean? You're just kind of stealing. And so similar with when people try to make these Indiana Jones movies, even though they're 40 years old, which is probably what they were, those serials were to Lucas and Spielberg when they made Indiana Jones, those didn't live on. Indiana Jones does. And so if you try to do Indiana Jones now, you don't get to be like, oh, it's this movie I liked 40 years ago when I was a kid. It's like, no, that's Indiana Jones and you're not doing it as well. So inherently, you're like stepping in something when you try to do a new Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Catching up with myself, Uncharted somehow miraculously, in a blatant riff on Indiana Jones, came up with really fun new characters in a modern setting. So it's not, Nazis in the 40s and whatnot. And they were able to take what we love about Indiana Jones and transpose it into something new, where they even reference Indiana Jones because you have to let people know what you're doing. But they just did it, and it's because the characters are so good. Sully and Nathan are a really funny pair. They're like a father-son duo who they have spats and they go back and forth, but they love each other, right? Like that's what makes Uncharted work. Because just doing an Indiana Jones riff just isn't going to last people's imaginations. So when you watch this movie, I think the biggest fault, and there's a lot of faults, but the biggest fault is the Nathan Sully dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's like Mark Wahlberg, he's just Mark Wahlberg. And just everything around him he hates. And that's not what Sully's like. And like Nathan Drake is a little older, you know, he has aches and pains and whatnot, but he's kind of a wise ass and whatever. But like him and Sully like each other. Sully would never double cross Nathan. Like they're like a relationship you wish you had. And I feel like that is a key problem with this movie is that I don't really know why they like each other. You know, like,
and this is supposed to be how they came to like each other.
You know, well, I mean, yeah, I guess, but I think a movie that cared a little more, that didn't. I think, you know, when you make a video game movie, they think, oh, you just want to go through the adventure parts of it. And it's like, no. Like, video games have changed. I've cried playing video games because they get so emotional. You know what I mean? Like Last of Us or something. So it's like, it's very important that we actually believe these people to have fun on these adventures. And I felt like this movie did nothing. You know, like it's just Tom Holland being Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg being some grumpy guy.
Yeah.
And that just rang so flat that it just inherently made the movie already at a disadvantage.
You know, what's funny, and again, I'm not familiar with the game, but I do know that the character Sully has a mustache.
And he's much older, yeah.
And you know, they have like one scene where Sully has the stash.
In the middle of the credits, yeah.
It's like a post-credit scene. And I remember thinking, like, I wonder if they shot this like afterwards
because of everyone complaining.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you know, it actually feels that way because it's totally a scene where let's get out of here, and they run out of like a cafe or something, and the camera's on their faces, and they're like, "Oh crap! Will you look at that?" And I know that can work, but I was like, "You didn't have anything, did you? Like you didn't have
I don't know.
You didn't have a budget. You didn't know what it was. You did like it played like two people on the Universal backlot. Just like I don't know."
See, Brian, here's what I'm going to say because you have you know alluded to Indiana Jones, and I mean, it's clearly trying desperately to be Indiana Jones, which is understandable because that's what the game was itself a pastiche of Indiana Jones. But allow me, Brian, to quote the poet Omar Little.
Oh, please do.
He said, "You come at the king, you best not miss."
You best not miss. Yep. Yep.
And so when you have these guys in front of this very obvious green screen and they're kind of flipping and flopping here and there, and it's clearly like the 87% of this movie is shot in front of a green screen.
That's I'm trying like not to talk so much because I need to hear more from you. But yeah, like I will just say real quick, that's another problem too. Is like they don't even get dirty in this movie. Like
Brian, there's a shot, you know, heading into Act 3 where Tom Holland is in a speedboat.
Yes,
and you can tell he's really in a speedboat, really on the water. And I was like, oh, that's nice. Like it was just so nice to see that because, to your point, everything looked too clean.
Yeah, I mean, you think of maybe it's unfair, and you know what? It's not unfair to compare this to Raiders because they did it to themselves. And like you think of the opening scene when Indy and Alfred Molina are going through into that temple or cave or whatever it is, and there's cobwebs in their faces. There's tarantulas on their backs. You know, when he picks up that thing, that like the sort of a stick, and the little arrow shoots out, and it looks like kind of a thing. Like there's moss on it, and like it looks like he's in a cave I don't want to be in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And this just looked like, again, they were in that circular LED thing, you know, like, and someone put cave on the computer and it beamed, cave around them. And then anyway, sorry, please.
No, I mean, that's kind of my point is like, if you're gonna, and that the movie invites the Indiana Jones comparisons by explicitly mentioning Indiana Jones.
Like I said, I think you have to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You better be able to play somewhere on that level.
Mm-hmm.
And I just it was vapor to me, and I really I think Tom Holland is all like, let's put on a show.
For sure.
And I appreciate that, which is why, again, I sound really bipolar about this because I'm glad it's doing well, genuinely, because I do think he deserves it.
Yeah.
I just don't think the movie's very good, so I don't know.
See, I at the risk of sounding bipolar myself, when it was over, I was really frustrated because I was like, I know how to fix this. And so that's frustrating. On the other hand, I did imagine like a 10-year-old watching it, and I was like, they're going to have a good time.
Well, as it happens, Brian.
Yes.
I took a 10-year-old with me.
Yeah.
That 10-year-old's parents really got upset with me because they're like, who are you? Why are you taking this on? It's super awkward.
Yeah.
No, I took my kid. I took my 10-year-old. I specifically took my 10-year-old.
Wow. Okay.
I zeroed in. I was like, I did the thing. You kind of go down the line. No, you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it feels like he's the audience for it.
Yes.
And when it ended, I was like, what'd you think? He was like, it was good. That was like,
wow.
Literally. That was
okay. Faint praise from the 10-year-old set.
It was good.
I thought it got. I mean, I'm. This is what I said at the beginning. I didn't hate the second half as much as I did the first half. I thought once things started moving, I thought what's her name? Chloe character, Sophia Ali.
Yeah,
she injected some much needed something because she made I really just thought Nathan and Sully just had nothing, and her being something for them to bounce off of, I thought helped a lot. And then when it started to turn into sort of double crosses and finding this thing, and then let's find these two ships underground and then having them in helicopters, and it's one thing to have a fight on a pirate ship, but then having these pirate ships that are floating over the air so people fall off and fly down to, and helicopters colliding. I gotta admit, I thought that was fun. I did enjoy the third act of this movie.
I was waiting for Sloth to show up.
Dude, such Goonie vibes. When they had, oh, by the way, so when they find, I guess we're spoilers now? I don't know.
Does it? Yeah, sure.
Dude, they're looking for gold. They find gold. Sorry, I'm sorry. But no, so there's a moment where they're like, did you find the gold, kid? And so he kicks over a barrel to reveal that there's gold. Yeah. And then Wahlberg's like, a whole lot of gold. And he kicks over another barrel to just display how much gold there is. I was like, wait, you gonna pick that up now? Why are you kicking over these barrels? We can see the gold. I'd be like, stop kicking over barrels. But no, okay. Stu, I'm talking so much. Please, I want to hear more from you.
There was just this air of artificiality around it. It felt like these were characters who knew they were in a movie, and they were doing movie things.
Yeah.
I thought the villain, Braddock.
Oh man. Yeah.
She didn't do much of anything for me. I was disappointed that Banderas doesn't have more of a presence in the movie. It felt like a waste of time, all the setup with him.
Dude, and what a cool villain. The whole concept that's gold his family stole a long time ago, and he thinks it belongs to him, and
I mean, it felt like a joke when they take him off the stage.
Yes, and you know what, Banderas was Banderasing, and I liked it.
Yeah,
his gravitas or whatever he brought, I mean, that was on display, but they gave him nothing.
Yeah,
what a cool villain. I mean, it made me appreciate too, that scene, which this movie would never do, or any movie these days, frankly, when Jones is talking to Belloc, and it's 1 minute and 30 seconds uncut, but it's just the we're not so different thing. And the fact that Belloc is dude, this is a transmitter. We can talk to God. Do you understand? Yeah. He's invested in this thing.
Yeah.
And they are just kind of shades of each other to some degree, but those shades are important, right? But like, it makes Belloc really interesting, and the whole thing at the end too, with like the arc and Indy with the bazooka. He's like, blow it up, like all those sorts of conversations and the duality of those guys and the relationship with the villain these people are grave robbers too. You know what I mean? Like, there's no nobility to this, like what they're doing. I mean, they're just taking gold, and like, what are the stakes of that? And so, like, why not have them play with the villain a little bit more? And it's just, why not have the two leads, sort of endeared to one another? So that's why they're going to go do it. But then they betray. But then they would never betray.
And Brian, I mean, to your point you're making, right? Like, watching Raiders, we didn't need Indy's origin to understand Indy.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I mean, we got it eventually.
It's colored in subtle ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
I see what you're saying. Last Crusade is what you were saying. Right?
Yeah, and then the TV show and stuff. But I mean, we got dropped into, Indiana Jones episode 37 or whatever, and we get it.
Yeah.
So why not just drop us into Nathan Drake episode 53? Like, I think we can figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's casting, honestly. But I think because of why he's so young. But why not have him be like a scrappy young... I mean, clearly he's, through his brother, he was interested in this stuff since they were
Well, real quick. The guy on the beach, that's video game Nathan Drake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But, okay, speaking of the brother.
Yes.
By the 37th time, we hear his brother's voiceover.
Right? It does almost become like Naked Gun style.
So
life's a beach.
I was like, we can read, you goddamn idiot.
It threw me the first time, but I was like, whatever. And then when it kept happening,
here's what I thought would have been really fun. Because Tom Holland has this stack of postcards that his brother sent, all with little messages, right? So, it'll be like, the secret is where you least expect, or whatever,
Yeah.
And you see him like flip through, look around for the true meaning of happiness, or whatever. And I thought it'd be funny if like he flips through them really quickly and the narration just gets faster and faster. Like the narration's trying to keep up.
That's a good joke, Zaki. That should be in a Naked Gun movie. That's really funny.
I got so annoyed, maybe disproportionately annoyed by that. Because I'm like, do you think we don't know how to read?
Oh man, that's what's funny. I again, full transparency. I don't think I disliked it as much as you.
But I didn't. Dislike implies a level. Like I didn't feel anything. I mean, when it was over, I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, I watched it. I'm done now.
I was angry at what a great buddy movie this could have been that it wasn't.
Sure.
That makes me angry. The set pieces were like middling at best, right? I mean, just going in a cave and turning a key, and it's like, okay. I mean, dude, there's so much from the games. Like, just take stuff from the games. Actually, to be fair, they did take the whole cargo thing from one of the games, which I enjoyed. It's fine. But
where the movie starts, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet you're wondering how I got here moment.
Right.
But then, I just felt like the only thing that felt really inspired and cool and dynamic was that last thing with the two ships. I was very impressed with that. I thought that was pretty cool. It did kind of the thing I love where, he's fighting one bad guy and he can't knock him out. And then a door opens and knocks that guy out. And that's Sully's problem coming through. And like, I was like, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
I just wish the first 2/3 of the movie had kind of done on the same.
Speaking of that cargo thing, when we cut back to that later, you have the thing where like the car is falling, and he, Nate is like hanging on, and this type of thing that drives me crazy because you've got Chloe's in the car. She's like, "Why did you jump?" And he's like, "Why'd you hit me?" And I'm like, "You are falling from the sky in a car. You're not going to have a conversation."
That's really funny.
I mean, this is seriously, dude. Like, act like a human.
Yeah. I have to admit, I thought that later when Sully was in the helicopter and he was, on the ship. But then I was like, oh, they got earpieces. But there was a moment where I was like, dude, they can't hear each other. Yeah. Oh. So again, the heist thing, which is kind of a riff on something that happens in the game, different in the movie.
The auction part.
Sorry, the auction. Yeah. I was like, man, this was done so much better in Hawkeye recently. Where there's someone's got their own problems in the back, and there are multiple parties interested in the item, and just something about that. Like, that's a good prompt, right? Like, that's a great prompt. And I don't feel like they did as much as they could have with it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
But I would say that's my summary review of this, is like, you got a lot of great prompts here, and like, you just didn't
do as much as you could have with it.
Didn't do as much as he could have with it. And I think the greatest sin, though, is the game is Nathan and Sully. And making me not really feel like, Riggs and Murtaugh, Buddy, whatever, like Nathan and Sully, like, I don't know. I think that was a big, even if it's an origin, even if you want to do the origin, go for it. But like, I wouldn't want to be around Mark Wahlberg. He was really, like, he's kind of a jerk, He's
like, come on, help me rob this thing, okay? Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah, right.
This is a random thing, but we early on, we find out that Nate is like a good pickpocket, right? Mm-hmm. And we find out because he steals a bracelet off this woman in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I love that the movie shows her smoke first, as if to sort of make you be like, yeah, she's not such a good person.
That is funny.
And then it has him steal the bracelet.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even do the calculus for that, but I can totally see that.
Right, because we don't see smoking very often in movies anymore.
No. Like,
so at this point, so it's done as a character marker.
Wow. Yeah.
That was just my thought. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I totally see that, though, now.
Because otherwise you'd be like, why'd you steal her bracelet? That's not a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, smoker. You deserve to have your bracelet stolen, you smoker.
That's so funny.
Dirty smoker. That's basically what the movie says.
Yeah.
This was very much, for me, Sony wanting to stay in the Tom Holland business.
Yes. Do you know the story of that, by the way?
As far as how he ended up getting cast?
Yeah.
Not specifically, but I know that this has spent like 10 years or whatever it is in the development line, right?
By the way, doing my whole jumping to another thread, remember David O. Russell was going to do this?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right.
And Mark Wahlberg was going to play Nathan Drake, and I think Robert De Niro was going to be Sully.
I'd watch that.
I'm curious. I think his take was what Sony was like, we're good. I don't know what that would have been. But I mean, this has gone through so many iterations, right? Dan Trachtenberg was attached at one point, who, by the way, the little I know about him, but like, it feels like he was probably onto something. I don't know. I don't know what he did that they didn't want to do, but anyway, sorry.
But as far as Tom Holland,
he wanted to do a young James Bond series.
That's right. Oh, I remember reading that.
And Sony was like, no. And Doug, however, if you want to play some sort of adventurer, I don't know, have you ever played Uncharted? And that's how that came about.
Well, there we go.
So there it is. I mean, it makes me feel bad. I got no problems with him.
No, I agree.
I like him. I mean, really, he is a charming guy. So that's the other thing too, is like, I'm kind of in some ways happy that I just want him to succeed. Not like he needs my.
That was exactly my thought. I was like, for a couple of reasons, because it gives him something other than Spider-Man.
Yes.
But perhaps just as importantly, it strengthens his hand when it comes to negotiating for more Spider-Man.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he can hold him up for more money, because he can be like, look, I got other options too.
Right.
I mean, granted, this is still Sony, but he's proved he can survive outside of the MCU, is my point.
Yeah.
You know
something else.
All right. So
real quick, sorry, I think it's worth mentioning. I will say, and I brought it up earlier already, but when the movie ends during the credits, the theme from the video game kicks in.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, the theme. I hadn't even thought about it. But there was a moment in the middle of the movie where something was going on, and it just had like a very modern kind of score. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, no. Like this is where you go a little old school and you have some bombast. And you know what I mean? And you have horns and you have like him missing a rope in the music, like, no, like that's what this movie is. And I feel like I barely remember score even being in it. I feel like it would have benefited from something a little, playing up how big everything is. I felt like that. I really do feel like that kind of hurt the movie in some ways.
Yeah, the music is by Ramin Djawadi, who, he's been composing for a long time, but I just his music tends not to stand out for me very much.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he did, he did the music for Eternals, I think. And I say I think because it's just,
Yeah.
He has a specific kind of sound. He did the Game of Thrones music and stuff,
right?
And that's sort of compounds my issues. Is that there just wasn't anything for me as a non-gamer to even glom onto. Like you at least were able to be like, well, that's that from the game, and that's so you have like a point of comparison. Maybe it's an unflattering comparison, but at least you've got a frame of reference to work off of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm just like, well, this is like a low rent Indiana Jones riff. It's doing that. It's trying to do that, but less well. So it just didn't really stay with me,
And that's why I get like a little worked up about it too, is because like the potential is there, and this movie has no personality.
Yeah,
like when you think of different pairings, you know what their dynamic is, and like I feel like this movie should have priority number one. I mean, you've got the set pieces, but priority number one should have been coming up with a dynamic that we cannot wait to see these two together again. Yeah. And I did not feel that when I walked away from it.
Well, there we go. I think that covers where we landed on Uncharted, which, though not planned, ended up being in roughly the same part of the map.
Yeah. So to speak, yeah. What's funny too, by the way? When he had those two crosses and he used them to find the point on the map, I was like, well, what if he did it the other direction?
Yeah.
Like he just twisted them the other way and then they pointed, to like Hawaii or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, you almost feel bad keeping on bringing up the Indiana Jones comparisons, and it just felt like it was trying to do that without really understanding what made those puzzles work.
Which is ironic coming from this game because half the game is puzzles.
Yeah.
So,
with that, I want to encourage everybody once again, if you have any questions or comments for us, please, you can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. As always, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review and hit follow on the show if you like what we're doing. Every comment, every star rating, all of that helps. So please definitely do that if you like what we're doing. If you don't, then just keep scrolling. Mind your business. If you're looking for me online, you can find me on Twitter at Zaki's Corner. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my website, justadded.com. And you can also find my writing at the San Francisco Chronicle, where coming up in the next week, I have the review of season 21 of Law & Order, one of my all-time favorite shows, which is returning after a 12-year hiatus.
Wow.
And so I've reviewed the first episode of that. That's coming up. Also coming soon is my look back. This is going to also be at the Chronicle, looking back at 30 years of Batman the Animated Series.
I can't wait to read that one.
I get to write about Batman in the newspaper, Brian.
I know, right?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you win.
Hopefully. What do you have going on?
I have episodes of Puppy Dog Pals Season 5 currently dropping every Friday on Disney, Disney Plus, and Disney Junior.
There you go. And with that, on behalf of my partner Brian Hall, my name is Zaki Hassan. This has been Movie Film 241. Thanks everybody for listening. We will catch you next time.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zaki and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.